Hi everyone, how are you doing? Today we're going to be talking about real self-care. It was something that I covered in an Insta Live recently, but if you missed it, don't worry because I'm going to be covering some of the main points here today. When I talk about real self-care, I don't mean the kind of mani-pedi thing, although it totally has its place and is lovely, do not get me wrong. But what I'm talking about is really getting back to who you are and nurturing yourself and reminding yourself that you are an amazing person and that you're talented and creative and just incredible. I waited until I'd got to my lowest point before I realised the importance of real self-care. Following my second miscarriage, I could barely get out of bed. It was a really, really difficult time. But the first thing I did, the very first step that I took to putting myself back together was signing up to a life drawing class. Now, life drawing is something that over the years I have picked up and put down, but I know that I love it. I know that for me, it creates a space, a really safe space, and that for me, it is mindfulness in the true meaning of the word. It's not meditation where I sit and try and concentrate on not thinking about other things. It's more about concentrating on just one or two things and using all of my energy to focus on that. And those one or two things are simply a piece of paper, the charcoal that I'm holding in my hand, and the model. And it allows me to forget and let go of everything else. And in doing so, gives me a space to just feel talented. Not every time, I understand, because sometimes I create rubbish art. But anyway, there are times where it just works, it happens. And I spend a good couple of hours, or at the time I was lucky enough that I could do it one day a week, just focusing on that and creating something that I loved and that I felt talented when I looked at. For you, it could be something different. So that's what we're going to think about next. What is your real self-care? And one way to do this is to think about what you loved doing when you were younger. Now, this could be when you were 7 or 16 or 20. What did you end up doing when there was nothing else to do, or what did you want to do when you had to do something else? It could have been running around outside, and actually you really love exercising. And exercising can mean anything nowadays, can't it? It could be a walk, it could be a run, yoga, swimming, but it doesn't have to be as physical as that necessarily. It could be drawing, sitting down really simply, and a lot of people, colouring in is huge at the moment because it is really mindful, as I say, in the true sense of the word. It's about giving yourself some space. So what have we covered? Exercise, drawing, it could be painting, it might be gardening, growing vegetables. There's so many things. Did I say singing? I'm not sure. Singing, composing music, playing music. There are lots of things that we can incorporate in our daily life and really remind ourselves of who we are and that we are nurturing ourselves and looking after ourselves, that we're creative and inspiring people. So have a think about what that is for you and how you can introduce it into your daily life. Because as I said, I had forgotten to do that or hadn't thought about doing it, to be honest. So I allowed myself somewhat during this trying to conceive journey to get to a really, really low place. Now, what I'm hoping is if we can start doing this early enough and soon enough in our lives, that we can help ourselves not get to that space, that we can nurture ourselves and keep filling ourselves up. So as much as all of the hormones and, the day-to-day appointments and the difficult things that we have to encounter within our lives because of fertility issues, that actually we can constantly fill ourselves up as well. And so that we don't get to that horrible space where possible. it's about trying to look after ourselves and protect our mental health. So once we've found what you're going to be doing, think about how you can create something from that hopefully you can benefit from. And this can be in lots of different ways. Something I didn't mention earlier on might be baking or cooking. And I definitely got into baking last year. It seems to have gone off me now, but that's no bad thing. Although I did do a lot of no sugar, so that was great. But when we bake or when we cook, we can eat that and we can nourish ourselves. When we garden, we can look after the vegetables from seeds to plants. And then we can go out and we can pick our strawberries and cucumbers and we can introduce them into our meals. And there's nothing better than going out and picking something and eating it fresh, which is amazing. And that is a positive affirmation of something that we have created. For me, it's my artwork, and I picked one or two pieces that I really, really felt proud of. And I bought some frames and I put them up in the house. And so when I walk past them now, I am reminded of something that I've created, something that I am proud of. And not only that, it also takes me back to the space that I was in when I created it and reminds me of that safe space, that calm space, that space where I was just focusing on me and the piece of charcoal in my hand and the piece of paper and the model. And that allows me to push everything else that's going on in our day-to-day lives out of the way just for a moment. And that's why it really helps if we can find something that we can do regularly at home, perhaps, or not far from our houses, something that can be inexpensive, so that we can make sure that we do it. But the key thing to it really is about it being something that we love, something that you love. Really try and think about what that is. What are you going to do that is going to nurture you from the inside out? We want this to help you to look after your mind, your body, and your soul, so that you can constantly remind yourself that you are capable and that you are important and that you are a talented individual, and that your entire life isn't consumed by the fertility issues that you are dealing with, that there is much more to you than just that. So have a think about what your real self-care is. Let me know what it is and how you get on and what it means to you. And also come and find me over on Instagram. My handle is @tryingyears, and I host a regular Insta Live every Monday night at 7:30 GMT. I'd love to hear your ideas and suggestions for what you would love me to include in those sessions. And I'd love to see you there, because if you're there live, you can join in the conversation with your comments and ideas and advice and questions. So hopefully I'll see you there. If you miss them, I will always recap with some of the key points on these videos. So make sure that you subscribe just down here so that you receive notifications every time I upload a new video. That's it for now. Let me know how you get on. Bye bye.